All right, what's up, you guys? So, I've made previous videos, made quite a bit of videos, probably a couple or a few. What's up, Harley? What's up, buddy? You. That's my dog. That's Harley right there. Um, so I don't know. I've done a couple or maybe a few on basically the B12 Sentra of mine, but I guess this is kind of an update or a follow up. So, like I was saying before in my previous videos, this 88, this blue 88 or sky blue 88 Nissan Sentra B12 um, Datsun. Um, and this is a Sentra XE, Sentra B12, or Sentra XE B12 or B12 XE, whatever. But it's a B12. So anyhow, like I said before, I'd like to go ahead and swap the original power plant, which is a little 1.6 TBI, which is an awesome little engine. It's not fast, not a it's not a whole lot of horsepower and torque. It's originally built for fuel efficiency, you know, um, to be economical. So it was very economical with with this original power plant, or with this with the engine that it comes with from Nissan. Excuse me. It puts out stock. It's only about 80 horsepower, but I had it up to about 150, 160 horsepower. And if I had more money, I could have had it up to 200, 250, even 300 horsepower, believe it or not. Maybe a little more than that with that original engine. Of course, that's all engine, probably turbo, obviously as big as you can go, which you're only going to be able to go so much on the turbo, but it can still be pretty big turbo. Um, and then with spray, of course. So it could be as much as 350, around there. The torque would be very high up too. But instead of doing all of that, with the original engine, um, you just, my plans, like I've said before, I'd like to swap it to an SR20 DET turbo, blue top or red top, uh, preferably. And that's what I'd like to do. You can get at least, you know, as much as 450 horsepower. The torque about the same, close. Um, I mean, the torque is going to be at least 350 foot-pounds, um, and that's all engine and with turbo, with boost. Whether you go one or two turbos, it's up to you. You can modify it, most likely, and you can even go two turbos, twin turbos on the SR20. You just have to build it for that, you know, and it'll handle it just fine, and she'll get a lot more power. Um, but yeah, that's basically what I'd like to do. Like I've mentioned before, um, basically SR20, DET turbo, red top or blue top. Um, then you could also, and even that engine you can get is, the SR20 is not just 450. You can get, that's just engine and turbo. With spray, you can go a lot higher. You could hook it up with a 100 shot, 150 shot. So say 150 shot, that 450 instantly becomes 600 horsepower, and the torque, whether it's three and a quarter, 350, or whatever it is, I know it's going to be at least around 300 or more. It's just going to go up 100. So it'll go up to what, four and a quarter, 450. The torque will go up 100 instantly. The horse will go up 100 instantly, or actually 150, excuse me, because it's 150 shot. So if you go with that 150 shot spray, It's 150 shot increase in horsepower and torque instantly. So if you're at, say, 350 torque, 450 horse, with that 150, say, okay, you're at 350 torque, 350 horse. With that 150, you go up to 600 horse and 500 torque. So the spray certainly does help a great deal too, nitrous. But you could still build the SR20 to a lot more than just 450. I've seen SR20s all engine and boost, of course, 650 horse, 600 to 650 horsepower. Um, Sometimes even 700 horsepower. So yeah, you can get anywhere between 6 and 700 horsepower easy. You know, uh, Out of the SR20s. The turbos. Um, when you do them right and you go all out, at least that's I've seen as much as that. SR20 DET turbo, red or blue top. Um, and then you can always also, the other option is the Neo VVL. Neo VVL, you can also get 450, 5, 6, 650, 700. I've seen them as much as that. And B12 Sentras like this one, B13s, B14s. Heck, I've even seen them in the B11s, which are rear-wheel drive. This B12 is the first generation where they converted from, or they went from rear-wheel drive to front-wheel drive. Because originally, Nissan, uh, made the B11 Sentra rear-wheel drive, which is pretty cool. It's just basically like this one, just a rear-wheel drive, you know. Um, of course, it's a different generation, so the body style is different, but same as this one in the sense that it's a two-door coupe, hardtop, which they made a lot of those for the B11. This one's a 5-speed. They made a lot of the 5 speeds, obviously. It's kind of like the same look, not exactly. We'll say, in other words, don't misunderstand me. In other words, it looks the same, but it's different, or it's different but the same. So um, they made a lot of, you know, it's basically the same thing. They made a lot of these back then. The difference is that the B11's rear-wheel drive, which makes it a little bit better in a way, and the B12 is, from this point on, they're all front-wheel drive to this day. So anyhow, but yeah, you can always swap it to a Neo VVL as well, and you can get at least 6 to 700 horse or more torque, about the same. So I think that the SR and the Neo VVL, the SR20 and the Neo VVL, are about basically the same. It's just the Neo VVL, um, it seems to be a little bit torquier, just a little bit, torquier. That's all it is. So that's why it's a little bit more popular, now, lately, for quarter mile, eighth mile, because of the torque. So, and it does seem to make a little bit more horsepower and torque in the long run, I think. But the SR20 and the Neo VVL, they're the two best. It's always been SR20. Now the Neo VVL came into the picture as well, but they're basically about the same. So they're both extremely high performance SR20s and Neo VVLs. So that's basically, what I'd like to do, either those two options or rotary, and convert it to rear wheel drive. The best and newest of RX-7's engines, and now RX-8's. Like the 13 A and B, especially the 14 A and B. You know, the very best of RX-7's, the newest and best of RX-7's. and RX-8s. So you could put, you know, those rotary uh, engine or power plant in this B12 Sentra, which has been done a lot. So, you know, a lot of the B11s, B12s, B13s, B14s get built, souped up, modified, customized, rebuilt, restomodded basically. So that's basically it. I can also squeeze a Z31 V6 in here, being rear wheel drive or converted to rear wheel drive. Z31 uh, turbo or twin turbo. Z32 might be a little too big, but Z31 definitely fits. So that's pretty cool. Rear wheel drive, imagine that, like I've mentioned before. So that's at least 4 different options. You can also go boxer engine, 2.5 liter, 4 boxer engine, you know, STI, Cobbs. Um, so yeah, you could do that as well. You can also convert this to all-wheel drive, from front wheel to all-wheel drive, not just from front wheel to rear wheel drive. So um, there's so many things you could do with this. This car just has so much potential, and it's light, like I've said before, about what, 2,000 pounds or so, approximately, maybe a little more, maybe about 21. I don't think it's more than 22, hopefully. I think it's more like 2,000, to be honest. It's very light, you know, maybe a little over 2,000, but not much. It's light, you know, maybe like 20,000, 2,050 pounds or something. It's light. It's 2,000 basically, you know. So, you know, if it's gonna have 4, 5, 6, 7, 800 horsepower under the hood, it's gonna be very fast. And then with the rotary, you can get over 1,000 horsepower, you know. So rotary, I think, is probably in the long run my best option. Converted to rear-wheel drive rotary because it's light, small, light, and it puts out so much power, or well over 1,000 horsepower. In this light car, it'll be gone. I'm telling you, you can work it down to like not just eights, but even sevens on a quarter mile. You know, so I'm not saying it's going to be the fastest, but it's going to be among. It's going to be among the fastest. So all of them are. All my project cars, you know. Well, at least that's what I'd like to do. So hopefully, you know, we'll see what's up. But yeah, a lot of projects, you know. So, and then you can do other things with this too, you know. I'm sure there's other options of, like I mentioned on my previous video, someone will want to squeeze a V8 up in there, Mopar, Motorcraft, LS Motors 1 through 7, whatever. You know, who knows? Big tire for the street, or as big as you need to go for the track, whatever. But that's my awesome 88 uh, Datsun Nissan Sentra B12. It's already got its body kit. I mean, it's a nice car, man. It's awesome. I already did the paint, obviously. I mean, I already restored it once. It was resto modded really nice, and now I just got to do it again. But it's just, you know, it's a car, it's a keeper. You know, it's a good car to restore, resto mod, you know. And this one will be street legal, everyday driver, but it'll be set up strictly for quarter mile racing for the track. So eighth and quarter mile, basically, especially quarter mile. That's, you know, basically what it's going to be set up for. Uh, so it'll be a quarter mile racer, JDM quarter mile racer. Yeah. Um, it's perfect for the straight line. That's why. A to B. All right, you guys. So that's basically my B12 Sentra for now. And like I've said before on my previous videos, these are my other uh, cars that I've accumulated or collected besides my B12 throughout years. But this one right here would be my '87 MK3 Supra Turbo 7M GTE. The T makes all the world in a different, all the difference in the world. Excuse me. I keep mixing that up and getting all twisted and tangled. My bad. But the T makes all the world and all the difference in the world. It's not just a 7M GE, it's a 7M GTE. T for turbo. So that's my '87 Mark III MK3 Supra 7M GTE. That one obviously white in color. This one over here, maroon in color. This one's an '88 Toyota Supra, 5-speed. This one is the 7M GE motor. So this one is a naturally aspirated one, but it still puts out a lot of power. Originally, it's not much. Stock back in '88, it's, I believe about 190 to 200 horsepower. But I have it up to about probably at least 250 plus horsepower or well over that. But just by, just doing bolt-ons. Haven't done any internals. It's stock. It's not turbo, like I said. It's naturally aspirated. But it's a good motor. So it's still strong, very fast. It's fun. So right now it's about 250 plus with basically just a little bit of work that I've done to it, bolt-ons, external things, nothing internal yet. But see, that's what I was trying to say before. This one, I'm gonna rebuild the engine, fully built up at the same time, fully souped up, in other words, at the same time with the rebuild. It's gonna be new everything, but it's not going to be turbo. It's just going to be NA, naturally aspirated. But it's going to be 350 horsepower, 350 foot-pounds of torque, and I'm probably going to have 100 to 150 shot of spray on it. So it's going to be 450 horse, 450 torque, or 500 horse, 500 foot-pounds of torque. Because it's going to be built for it. So, NA with spray, basically. So it's going to be strong for what it is. I mean, considering it's not turbo. But then, that's just my short-term, basically, goal. My long-term goal is to swap it. I've always wanted a 1J turbo, 1JZ turbo, or 1JZ twin turbo, but I think it's going to end up being most likely a 2JZ turbo or 2JZ twin turbo, which is perfectly fine. That's probably as good as it gets anyhow. Perfect. So, just get that, swap it to, that's my long-term goal, hopefully, to swap it to 2JZ turbo or twin turbo, So, with that, then I can get crazy. With that 2JZ turbo or 2JZ twin turbo, I can just go big power. Then it's a different, it's all different. It all changes for the better. Then I'll just probably go 1500 horse, 1550 horse, 1600 plus horse, 1800 horse, 2000 horse, and still be street legal everyday driver. Take it to the track, have fun with it, So basically, that's what I'd like to do on this one, So that's my short-term and long-term goals, and then do all the body kit. Get a new carbon fiber hood for it, carbon fiber headlight lids on them, the top casing or the lid. You can get that carbon fiber as well. So carbon fiber hood, carbon fiber headlight covers, fiberglass fenders, body kit. You can even get carbon fiber doors for it. Carbon fiber mirrors for sure. That's obviously you can do that. And the body kit, like I said, nice, tasteful, done right body kit. Side skirt, the front, the side skirts, the rear, a nice carbon fiber wing, nice, new rims and tires, things like that, I'm not sure if I would do the carbon fiber doors, but I do everything else. Carbon fiber doors do make a difference, though. It just makes it that much lighter. So if you can afford that, yeah, actually, I would recommend that. But I don't know if I personally would do it. I do everything else that I mentioned, but the carbon fiber doors, I may do it. I may not. It just depends. Depends the color I end up, wanting to paint the car, and if it looks good with the carbon fiber look, you know. So, it probably would look good with this, with the color I have in mind, which is like a brandy wine maroon, you know. And I want to mix it up with black anyhow, so actually that might look good. But yeah, there's a lot of things. And then over here, the nice thing is that it's easy to convert, which I love these 86, 87, 88 Mark III Supra tail light look. But the 89, 90, 91, and 92 are the desirable ones. Those are my favorite. And it's easy to convert these to the 89 through 92 look. Because this is the 86 through 88 is Series 1 of Mark III of MK3 Supras. 89 through 92 and a half is basically Series 2 of the um, Mark III or MK3 Supras. So it's not that hard to, actually inside there's bolts and you just undo them and you're able to remove, the tail lights, remove this, you know, this over here and the other tail light, and then you're able to put the new installation of tail lights, the 89 through 92, in here, you know, and it replaces this, same obviously over here, replaces this, and obviously you know, this tail light, and obviously this piece right here, this is connected to this piece right here, this part or this piece right here. So the whole thing, comes out. It's pretty simple, man. It's actually pretty easy within reason, It's not, so it's not that much time, that much work. You don't need that many tools. But if you do happen to have at least the grand majority of the tools, that's even better. Like I do, you know. I don't have everything, but I almost do. So, but yeah, that's what you can do. So the taillights, it's you can do the conversion uh, from Series 1 to Series 2 at Mark 3, taillight uh, conversion, rather easily. So that's pretty cool. A lot of my buddies that have Supras like me have done that. And on this one, I probably am going to do it when I do all my, when I start building it, when I start really restoring it. All those things, you know, I'll just basically, do everything, just when I start building it, I'm going to go all the way. That's what I'm trying to get at. I'm going to go all out. That's what I'm trying to say. So all that will be done. And over here, like you guys can see, is my 89 Sky Blue 89 Mark III MK3 Supra Turbo. This one is a 7M GTE. The T makes all the difference in the world. The T is for turbo. See, like the white one next to it, that one's also a 7M GTE. The difference is the white one is automatic. See, this one over here, the maroon one, is like the blue one. They're both 5-speed. Difference is that this one over here is a 7M GE, naturally aspirated. In other words, it's a 3.0 uh, inline 6, dual overhead cam, fuel injected, uh, you know, engine, which is actually a Toyota racing engine. It's a stock engine, but it's basically Toyota's racing engine for back then, for the inline 6 NA, 24 valve, all that good stuff. It's got everything, you know. It's just not turbo, but it's NA, naturally aspirated, so they still go. That's why it's already 190, 200 out the box, and you can build it at 3.25, 350, no problem, easy, without the turbo, just being NA, naturally aspirated. Imagine when you throw the turbo in there, the sky's the limit. which I'm about to explain what I mean by that with the Y87 and the Y89 that are turbo. Okay, and you'll see the difference between NA and turbo. Wow, huge wow, basically. So, all right, that's why I kind of start with this one because this one's more like the, the beginning. That one is wow. So, okay, like I was saying, got distracted. My dog over here. My bad. All right, so this one, you know, NA 350 horse and torque. With spray, yeah, I can go 500 horse and torque, but that's NA, and that's why I was explaining earlier how I was gonna, swap it to a 2JZ long term. So I got two goals: short term and long term. Long term is really the real goal, and I'll make it, God willing. Hopefully we'll see what's up, but you know. Um, so okay, the difference is that this one over here is a 7MGE. This one over here, these two over here actually are 7MGTEs, the T for turbo. So that makes all the difference in the world. This one over here, 7MGE, 7MGTE, both of these. And this one over here, that's 87, this one's 88, and this one's 89. The 88 and 89 are 5-speed manual. That one's automatic. So, like I was saying before, um, actually, or basically, you can build these with the 7M GTE engine because this one is basically the daddy of the 1JZ turbo and twin turbo, the 2JZ turbo and twin turbo. In other words, 1JZ GTE, 2JZ GTE, because this is the father, the 7M GTE. This is the original, or this is the granddaddy, whatever. This is the grandpa, whatever, because the 1J would be like the son, whatever, and then the 2JZ grandson, whatever. Ha ha, lol. But anyways, um, the point is that this one is even before those. Those came after this one. This is when it started. This is when turbo first came into the picture for Supras, was the Mark IIIs. Uh, MK3 Supras. This one, 87, the first year was 86, 1 year before this one, a year older than this one, than the white one. That was the first year, 86, when the Supra from Toyota started to come with turbo. This motor right here, the 7M GTE. And it wasn't much. It was like 200, somewhere between 226 to as much as 276 horsepower. Usually it was 226 around there, but um, that's still quite a bit for back then. You know, and you can always upgrade them, make them 300 and well over that easily. You know, but the point is that this original power plant, you know, um, it's because of 7M GTE where the 1JZ GTE and a 2JZ GTE came to be. They came from here, from here, 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 from the 7M GTE engine. Basically, that is, where the 1J came from, um, where the 2J came from, after the 1J, of course. So, um, the 7M GTE right here, this 7M GTE engine is capable of as much as 1,300 horsepower to the wheels, which is not just 14 and 15, but as much as 1,600 horsepower to the crank. The torque is well over 1,000 foot-pounds of torque to the wheel. It's actually probably over 1,100 horsepower, to the wheel. To the crank is not just 12 or 13, like I said before. Now that I really, you know, uh, once I really think about it, or I've analyzed it a little bit more, actually the torque can be as much as 1,400 foot-pounds of torque to the crank if you're putting out well over 1,000 or 1,100 plus to the wheel. You know, that's a lot of torque to the wheel, so it's going to be a lot more to the crank. So that's what basically, you can do with this 7M GTE engine that it already comes with, the turbo. You know, um, and that's without nitrous. Okay, that's without spray. You can still probably not just 100, 150, 200 shot of spray on top of that 1,300 horsepower to the wheel. So then you'll have 1,500 horsepower to the wheel, and that 1,000 or 1,100 torque to the wheel is going to go up to probably 12, 1,300 horsepower, or excuse me, 12 or 1,300 foot-pounds of torque to the wheel, and 1,500 horsepower to the wheel because of the 200 shot of spray. 200 instant gain in power, horse, and torque. So, so you're at 15. I mean, which means at the crank you're going to be a lot more. At the crank you can be probably as much as 1,800 horsepower, 16, 17, 1,800 horsepower to the crank. And the motor is built to take it. It can do it just fine. You know, this motor could probably even push 2,000 horsepower, but 18's good. And your torque, if it's 12, 1,300 to the wheel, it's probably going to go up to not just 12 and 13 and 14, but and not just 15, but at least 1,600 foot-pounds of torque to the crank. That's a lot. Wow. Yeah, it can do it just fine, no problem. So that's basically what it's gonna, that's how capable the 7M GTEs are. The only thing is that Toyota just made a mistake, and they won't fess up to it, but they kind of screwed up a little bit torquing down the head bolts. And they just are only torquing them down probably somewhere between 50, 60 pounds or so. Maybe a little bit more, but they need to be torqued at least at 70, 80 foot-pounds of torque. 76 is what? 76 is the norm. Between 70 and 80 is the norm, but you want to really torque them down at least to 80 minimum, but preferably like Dwayne, who sold his 89 or 90, I forget what year it is. Um, I believe it's actually 89. Mark III, his white Mark III Supra to his brother, right? In California, they was, from Canada, they're going down to California a lot. But, that's probably one of the nicest ones I've seen, well, ever, probably, since they were new, back when I was a kid and seen them when they were new. This one still looks even better than when they were new. So, anyways, um, point is, you can get a lot of power. He's getting what, 1,036 horsepower with the 7M GTE motor to the wheels, and like he says, if you upgrade the turbo, you can get as much as 1,300, 12, 1250 to 1,300 horsepower to the wheels. But yeah, the 7M is really capable. It's awesome. Oh, he also says, Dwayne also says about torquing the head bolts down to 100 foot-pounds of torque, in a crisscross pattern like Toyota says how to do, the right way. So if you do that, and I think if you also put, stronger, better gaskets, head gaskets like steel, maybe double up on them, see whatever's best, so you don't have any issues, man, you'll be perfectly fine. Just like Dwayne did it. Do it like he did. He's pushing 1,036 horsepower to the wheels, and he can go up to 1,300 horsepower to the wheels, and he has no, well, his brother now, he has no gasket head issues because he did it right. And that's, you know, basically a testament and proof, evidence, or indicate, whatever that is. Well, yeah, living proof that if you do the 7M motor right, it's an outstanding engine. Outstanding. I mean, no one knew or could understand. No one thought that 7M GTE could put out 1,036 horsepower to the wheel and go as much as 1,300 horsepower to the wheel. And like I said, that's without nitrous. You can still hook up a 200 shot to it. So there you go. So obviously, you know, the 1J and 2J are going to be even more because they're building upon this, the beginning, 7M GTE, you know. So, um, but yeah, my long-term goal, I've always wanted 1J, but I'm probably just going to have to just go with 2J. Probably a 2J, all of them, swap the 87 right there that you're looking at, my 88 over here, and my 89, all three long-term goal, which is not really that long term. It's not that far away from now. It's not that long away or that far away. Uh, is a 2J. Swap them all three: the 87, the 88, and 89. Swap them all three with 2JZs, turbo or twin turbos, and the 88, the maroon 88, and the blue 89 are going to be definitely converted from 5-speed to 6-speed. And the white 87, I'm still debating, thinking if I'm going to leave it automatic or convert it to a 6-speed as well. And it's basically for the Supras. I got my plans for the probe, and which I'll mention on another video, but you guys know what's up. So I guess that's it for now. I've already mentioned a few things about the B12 Sentra, so, and there's just so much to say. Doesn't matter how many videos I make and how long they are, and I try to explain as much. There's just so many things. I got basically what I'm going to also do real quick. I'm just going to mention body kit to all of the cars. I already got a body kit for the Probe GT. You already see that I got one for the B12. It's already on there. Just got to redo it. And getting body kits for the Supra. It's going to be very nice, tasteful, uh, body kits that are going to be done right. It's going to look right for all the right reasons. Then I'm going to get my carbon fiber wing, carbon fiber hood, rims and tires, carbon fiber headlight covers for the Supras as well. And I'll definitely, I'll even do the fiberglass fenders for all the Supras because it's just that much lighter, man. And it's like OEM basically, which is rare because usually you have to do certain customizing to get them to fit. But these are like, wow, it's like on point, to be honest with you. No exaggeration. They're that good. And whatever else, everything else. Full roll cage, racing seats. I already gutted the interior. It's just the front two seats in there for now, and it's VIP from the front to the middle. The rest is, after that point, gutted. So, still got my carpet in there and my two front seats. But basically, that's what I plan on doing is, it's already half,